going on today, motherfuckers? I'm just wanting to keep making videos, and one of the things I thought would be cool to talk about is the way the world is perceived, the way we perceive the world, and just a philosophical difference in thinking between a scientific and a spiritual mind. When you look at things, and I really got the idea from Terence McKenna from listening to some of his videos, but he got the idea, and not the idea itself, but a good way to explain it through a bumper sticker, which was he saw someone riding with a bumper sticker that says, "You think, God knows." But they had cleverly bought two of them and rearranged the second one to say, "God knows, you think." That's pretty interesting. So, what it means really is that if you think about the world around you, there's the way that it is set up to appear through our design as a human being. And then there's the way that it's spoken to be like in science, like atoms and matter and all that stuff. And I do trust science and believe that they're right about a lot of stuff, because I couldn't do sweet stuff like, because that's math and shit, to make an instrument. There's all kinds of stuff that I believe when it comes to science, but one of the things that I think we should think about is that the way human beings are designed to perceive reality is the way it was actually designed to be perceived by nature or evolution. Because you can break down something like a wall into its minute parts and how it functions all together, and that could tell you something about that wall, but you're ultimately going to refine the goal that it is representative of a wall. The whole point of experimenting with all this stuff and figuring out what it's made of just leads us back to the conclusion that it is what we perceived it to be. And I think that's because we can't escape our humanity. We're still in this thing, this machine. The design is like a game where you can't find the edge, like a computer game or something, and the deeper you look, the more your actual mechanism of your design, of your material body and everything is going to affect the results that you want, because you're still under subject to these laws and weird regulations that are happening in this universe. So what I'm saying is, when you look at something deeper, it's not dumb to look at it as just what it's representative of. Like if you're looking at grass or a wall, it's not dumb to think that that's what it was meant to be in the eyes of the cosmos and what it was meant to be represented to you as. So you might be able to find more information metaphorically by thinking about these things philosophically than you can actually studying them under a microscope. And maybe not more, I don't want to say that. But it's interesting because that's where a lot of our science starts. It's like the idea of atoms themselves really are a scientific thing, but came from philosophy, came from people just thinking long enough that they're like, you know what? Things got to be made of stuff, and stuff also moves, and it must not move if this doesn't happen, this, that. And they really just thought it out and invented science through thinking. And to abandon that way of thinking, to basically worship this form of science that is just trust these people with the credentials to tell you all this stuff that is super confusing and hard to, it takes time to learn and everything. So my encouragement to you today is just to look at the world around you simply and try to take in a big picture of what, if you've been designed by evolution over billions of years to perceive the world the way it is, then why is that so important? Why? I mean, survival, first off, you want to be able to see everything that can potentially puncture and kill you and smash you and all that stuff, and feel the sun's heat, and anything that would be threatening to your life, you'd be set up to perceive. But why are we set up in this way? Because we don't see the same way as an eagle or a frog or a fly. So there's something about human beings. You could find a lot of answers just asking the question, why do I have fingernails? Why do I see this range of color? Why do I perceive walls as hard? If I know scientifically we're the same material, why can't I pass through a wall? Why? Not how. There's no sense in just telling ourselves how everything happens. We're going to come to an end conclusion where we're like, sweet, cool. Now what's the fucking point? So, just sitting here, getting ready for work. And just wanted to tell you, that this note is just a wave, right? And perceived by your ear into this pattern. So what is more useful and functional knowledge? The fact that it's a wave that has some strange effect on the drum in your ear to produce? Or is the beauty and perception of the world that you were designed to perceive it this way? Much better than so think about it. I know it's stupid, just think about it.